I guess this is a thing? I was not really interested in this franchise, but, well, that's what this video is for, isn't it? Would be pretty interesting to get a newcomer's perspective on this franchise. I hope.
First, a little history about myself. I never liked playing life sims. The first one I've ever played was Sim 2 on the PC. Me and my brother were visiting a friend's house and their guardian was playing it. I tried it for about 5 minutes and immediately stopped and went to play a copy of Sonic Advance 3 my brother got from them. The next game I played was Harvest Moon on the GameCube years later, and I didn't really care for it either. It's more engaging than Sims, I'll give it that, but it's just going around growing food, feeding cows, and trying to find a buddy. I see the appeal here over the white noise Sims was, but I have little patience for these kinds of games. That's why I never really gave Animal Crossing much thought. It looked cute and all, but it didn't change the fact that it was just you owing debt and growing stuff. I know I'm oversimplifying that. The point is that I didn't see a lot of value in it.
Doesn't mean peer pressure isn't a bitch. I actually got this game because friends were just begging me to play it, and when it got on a sale, well, here it is.
Jokes aside, let's get into my thoughts proper, and do keep an open mind, alright? I went into the game with one, so you should here too. So we get to go on a lovely island getaway, which in this game may as well be an over-the-top moving day. And starting off, we get asked for our name, birthday, and appearance for our photo ID. Apparently you can't change your name for whatever reason, but you can change your skin color with the press of a button. What kind of black magic do we possess? Don't! Well, I guess I'm stuck with this for the time being. I have no idea what this hairstyle is. It looks like I have darkened cheese puffs on my head. We also pick out our new vacation spot, and get asked about one thing we want for an island getaway. I would think all of these would be helpful during a survival training, though even if I had no idea who this time person is and why I would need to kill them, I certainly look like a psychopath, so we'll pick that option. Oh, we do get everything. Sweet, I could eat the food and murder someone on this island. Though if this were real life, I'd probably kill them for food anyway. Crap, I got a hippo and a bear for my meals. Not exactly fine dining, and I can't trust the tanuki meat. I know how they work. And we'll worry about that later. We need to build a tent. I've always liked the idea of a beach house, so I pitched my tent near the ocean. I also helped my animal pals for a place as well, following up with Nook asking me to find some branches while he studies the fruit, even if he's just standing there. Screw it, I'll do your damn job, asshole. Once the fireplace is set up, Nook gets everyone together for a celebration and settling for a name for the place. We get to the next day after a fever dream with this ominous dog with a guitar, with Nook afterwards talking about business and his new mileage system. Shoot, even Nook is getting into the cryptocurrency craze. After that, I kinda just explored the island, talked to the 2 villagers, and the Stoto dude that you can't really do anything with until the next day. I picked up some weeds, took the remaining peaches, caught some bugs, got some miles from doing all this crap. I also made some tools from the new DIY system, and made a shirt that doesn't totally make me desperate. Where's my Pikmin Trilogy on Switch? Nintendo? You know what? So far so good. Let's see what tomorrow will bring. So Tom Nook tells me about catching some bugs and fish for studying, so we do just that. I talk with one of my villagers, Biff, and he gives me a hat, probably because he thinks I'm having a bad hair day or something. Though shortly after, I found this recipe for a mirror on the shore, so I was able to change my hairstyle. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. Not much I saw of that, it's kind of a dull day compared to yesterday. I started the day off with some more fishing, and even found my neighbor Ursula playing near my campfire. I will say I'm enjoying the company here. I was expecting to find Biff a little annoying, but he acts more like a doof, even if he is still a jock character. Ursula's a more wholesome character, and doing light research, I learned that she used to be a snooty character. Never knew Animal Crossing had character development. Also talking to Nook about a new visitor, Blathers, a museum curator, so I'm tasked to find a location for him. I'm sure Biff would enjoy living near a book nerd. Of course, my friends had to know about my new lifestyle, so I let them all visit my barren wasteland, and also witness a dead bird near the beach. Didn't do much, sadly. I only started out and couldn't access the rest of the island yet, so we just did some stargazing. This game is just a mile a minute, ain't it? After they left, I was able to decorate my new home I paid for yesterday. Yeah, why can't I change anything while my company is over Nintendo? That just sounds dumb. Holy shit, I hit the fucking jackpot. Finally met Blathers and I gave him some new specimens. Apparently he hates bugs for some reason, and sometimes it gets silly. It's just a caterpillar, dude. Calm your ass down, you're a freaking owl for crying out loud. I even dug up some fossils that Blathers needed. But after that I bolted over to my house so I didn't get attacked again. Ugh, don't let tomorrow be worse. Immediately found some money, so it's certainly better by default. Why doesn't the money immediately go into my pocket? Not much to talk about. I gave stuff to Blathers and did some DIY. Starting to realize just how slow this is. I can't make more than one item at a time, which is such a waste of time. At least let me create more than one of the same item. Also, screw the breakable tools. This is probably the most despised trend for modern gaming. Tools and weapons have to be limited use and waste your goddamn time trying to make more. It feels like they're trying to disrespect your time. A gardener named Leith visited the island, and he usually deals with weeds and sells shrubs. Not much useful right now since I sold all my weeds to Timmy a few days ago, and I'm kind of penny pitching for rent. But good to know for later. Also encountered my first wasp encounter. Boop. If only I had more foresight with the damn tarantulas. I ended the day with giving Timmy some wood for his new shop, and he gives me some rewards. Not a fan of the wallpaper or the flooring, but I did like the top. It looks a little feminine, but I think I'll look absolutely fabulous in it. Biff, I appreciate the iron nuggets for the shop, but never mind. Yeah, this is where grinding for materials was going to be a lot more useful, and hitting rocks was certainly the best way to get them. You can even get some money from it too, so it's always great to do regardless. Oh, now the money goes straight to my pockets. I also met this interesting character, Sahara, who likes to sell random flooring and wallpaper. Purchase well spent if I do say so myself. Most importantly, I was finally able to make a pole so I can cross the river. Shame I can't climb the walls thanks to my lack of fingers, but it's more than what I had earlier.
2 weeks later.
Took a couple weeks off to focus on other videos in Final Fantasy VII Remake, but since there wasn't much to catch up on, it only took 9 minutes and then I left the game. I think I'm already experiencing Animal Crossing burnout at this point. Yep, I'm starting to lose that steam. With only 2 villagers, a Tanuki landlord, an entomophobic owl, and a shit ton of weeds on the other side, there's just not much to do. Holy shit. Easy there. Easy there. Gotcha! Yeah, I know how you feel, man. As a Utah living in the desert, I too feel terror down my spine. I've had this ghost student the next day, and apparently he's afraid of ghosts. What the hell are you two? Not much past that, I help pound his body parts, and that's it. And I finally funded Timmy and Tommy's shop, and they let me pick the spot. Enjoy the pole vaulting, boys! I felt bad, so I built a bridge for them. Otherwise, it went down exactly like the last day did. Down to the ghost. Seriously, what the hell are you? We're able to get some new neighbors, and Nook wanted me to set locations to make their furniture. What? They can't just bring their own furniture or make it themselves? Well, I guess we're not getting any new neighbors tomorrow. Ugh. Well, I got one home finished, just 2 houses to go. And that's basically how the next couple of days went. Making furniture for the neighbors. At least we have a new neighbor. Damn it, they're asleep. Stupid nocturnals. Finally got the rest of the houses out of the way. We'll know who our lucky new neighbors are tomorrow. As a thank you for our hard work, Nick gives us some fencing to play around with, and apparently I can't build over a slant. I'd be more annoyed, but it made for a nice entrance. And I can't really make a gate yet, so we'll live for now. Okay, you don't look very neighbory. This hippie wants me to visit his island, which I declined. He doesn't really look that trustworthy in my opinion. Oh my hell, how long does this guy sleep? I just want to talk. At least the other 2 are awake. I got Apple, this tiny little popstar hamster, and Bertha, another hippo in the middle of making a DIY. Took me this long to actually get a villager to actually build, and after this, it happened a lot. I had her do this 2 days in a row, so for a while I thought she was just a worker. I got Mabel on my island today as well, and she was one of the few characters I knew before going into this game. I even got her amiibo years ago too, along with Nook. Why? They were dirt cheap during my amiibo craze. I got hooked. Speaking of which, got my house paid off with the option to upgrade my home. Good lord. At the very least, you pay over time. Oh, hello. Guess I wasn't the only person who got an upgrade. Not only does Nook have a new secretary, he even upgraded his tent to a full-on building. So this is where all our bros are going to. Fancy little bitch. I only had Dog Lady put up the most important flag known to man. Today was where I started to really get into decorating the home, thanks to the added space. And I'll give the game this. This was the most fun I had here. The cornucopia of furniture I collected over time, I had a lot of choices from the start, and as a result, I spent roughly 20 minutes on this. Leaf came in again, and I finally had a crap ton of weeds to sell. Nice. Thank Lord Ozzy is here, and... oh. I didn't know why I thought kangaroo, but I kind of prefer this little dude. He looks so cute. He actually became one of my favorites over time, but we'll get there soon enough. Well, I was going to end the day right there, but I got a letter from the hippie about a photo shoot, so I kind of went out of curiosity. I don't exactly know who these saps are, I know they're from the past games, but I enjoyed the photo shoot so much, I did so much with it. I've always enjoyed photography, and when something looks ugly and raw, I want to die. I felt this for nearly 5 years. That was probably the most eventful day yet. Maybe things will get more interesting. Nope. On day 18, I made another bridge to the peach orchard. On day 19, I found a shady kitsune who wanted to sell art to me. Would have been nice for the museum, but I'm low on funds, so scram. On day 20, we got a new villager from the new campsite, Tex, who also became one of my favorites. And I didn't need to make him some goddamn furniture. Nook, you piece of... On day 21, I made a pool area on the island. Probably the biggest thing I've done in the game. There was a bug up on day 22. I played a couple of rounds and got some sweet dough from the bugs I caught. And we get the opportunity to get KK Slider's attention to the island to hold a concert. Even as a non-Animal Crossing fan, I always loved KK. Such a cool dog, and he played the guitar. You know you're cool when you play the guitar. So from then on, I decided I'll end my adventure with KK Slider's concert. This was on June 27th, and I didn't really get to this until July 26th, a whole month later. Though I didn't play it every day, surprising I know, averaging it every 2 to 3 days. There really wasn't a lot to the journey though. I made a couple of ramps, I got 3 more villagers on the island, Robin, Pansetti out of nowhere, and Dell, though there was a little hesitancy from him. Even to this day, I had trouble selling the last home. I completely botched 2 visits from the camp. One of them actually visited on the day KK Slider came in. Updated on that actually, I actually got my 10th villager, Clyde. I don't know much about him personally, but we'll see. I gave Mabel her new shop and I got some good stuff from her. I finally gave Blathers a piece of art from the museum. Thankfully it was authentic, the little piece of... And the twins upgraded to a corporation. Lucky them. Enjoy the corrupted business world, kids. But of course, we get to the final day. I had to invite some friends for the occasion. Only 2 people accepted, but at the very least we could have some fun with KK Slider. Oh shit, it's starting already. At least he'll visit every Saturday morning, and I get a new app after it ended. The ability to transform the island. It's kinda lame at the start, but I can unlock Jayson on a... Well, shoot, I'm not getting much out of this for a while. And that's kinda the end of it. Well, that's the end for the video. I don't think I'm done playing this game quite yet, but let's get into my overall thoughts on Animal Crossing after finally playing one of the games. First off, this game looks downright gorgeous. I know New Leaf is a little on the rough side, though that's mostly because it's on the 3DS. But getting this series in HD, this game is wonderful on the eyes, and the music creates a wonderful sense of ambience. Meeting the villagers and NPCs was always something great to do too. Biff and Ursula were my starting party, but they really became my favorites to talk to, especially Ursula. She was just a sweetheart, and even when I backed away for a week, she didn't completely disregard me like I was worried everyone would. In fact, all the villagers were pretty pleasant to be around, though Robin and Tex did get a little snarky at points. And Pansetti and Bertha were fine and all, but I didn't really get to know them all that well. Behind Ursula though, Tex and Ozzy were my favorites. Ozzy, since he was such a carefree dude, he loved to run around like a child and it gave him so much personality. And Tex was just a cool dude, even if he was a little cocky at points. Apple got a little annoying at first, but I quickly got used to her peppy nature, and she was definitely one of the most positive additions to the island. Dell may have been the latest addition, but I loved his laid-back attitude, and his house is Donkey Kong themed. He's one of my favorites for that alone. And while Robin did get a little snarky, she was actually kinda sweet and a little laid back. Really, I have no complaints with my island population. Every villager had a cozy personality, and never once did I say to myself, oh great, now I have to talk to this asshole again. The NPCs were great too. Blathers was fun to talk to whenever I brought something to him. I always went to Mabel's shop just to check on her and her sister who tended to keep to herself. I can't judge, I kinda sympathize. And I know people like to bash on Tom Nook, but he's actually a swell dude. I freaking killed to have him as a landlord. And Isabelle was fine, I guess. But the game itself... Before playing this, I told some people that I was finally gonna hop in, and everyone went nuts. Oh, you're gonna sink in so many hours into this game. Before you know it, you'll have put in 3 more hours than you wanted to. Here's the thing. I did enjoy myself with Animal Crossing. I especially loved decorating my home, customizing the island a bit, talking to the villagers every once in a while, and I was always giddy once I found a money rock and hoped to God I maxed out to get the most money. But then the problems start to sit in. Building stuff was far too long. Having to make everything one at a time is tedious, and it made me squirm every time I had to make a new tool. And whenever one of my tools broke, that was one way to make me steam. I talked about wasting time before, but this stupid frickin' mechanic added up the playtime. Stop normalizing breakable items, it adds nothing, people. The Nook machine also got a little annoying. It basically lurks just how a bank does, and it's not too annoying. But when you're trying to buy things, especially with Nook miles, I got so impatient. I bought so many Bell tickets, and I had to buy each one at a time. It's just, Can I just pick how many I want to buy? For crying out loud, this is such a freaking tedious, It's just a waste of freaking time. Speaking of wasting time, holy shit, what are with these freaking load times? It usually happens before and after you play the game, but it still doesn't excuse the nearly half a minute worth of loading. And sometimes they ruin the drive to play the game at points. They're just that intrusive. It's kind of like playing Sonic 06 at this point. Thankfully, if the game has any other loading times, it just takes a couple of seconds, but it's still obnoxious. But my biggest problem with the game is just how repetitious everything is. For most days, you get out of your house, pluck some weeds, talk to your villagers, do some shopping, pay off your debt, and maybe do some decorating. Sometimes a bug off for fishing contest is happening, but they don't happen often enough to break up the monotony. But even with all those little annoyances, I don't regret trying it out. I do regret buying it for $60 though. I feel like I didn't put nearly enough into it to warrant that value. Over the course of 4 months, I only put in 20 hours. Sure, if I decide to come back every now and then, maybe it'll be worth it. But I just felt empty playing through the game at times. But nevertheless, I'm glad I tried it out because now I know for a fact that this really isn't my kind of game. On the very first day, Nook said something pretty powerful. Sometimes cozy doesn't always mean comfortable. That phrase pretty much sums up my experience with the game. While I did feel relaxed and had some fun with the game, the whole package didn't feel special to me. I could get away from this game in a month and I'd probably forget everything about it except for what villagers I had and the attractions I made. I do see the appeal and I can definitely see why people would spend hundreds of hours on it. But again, nothing here makes me want to spend hundreds of hours on it. And that's perfectly fine. If this game brings you all the joy in the world, more power to you. I can see why this game, or games like it, can be special to someone. However, if you haven't tried the series, I'd say get New Leaf for $20, or wait for a sale on the eShop. $60 is certainly not worth the price of admission for a newbie. Trust me.
No matter what you think about this series though, there's no doubt as to why this still has the star power it continues to have today. It's one of the more fleshed out simulation games I've ever played, and it has the charm and the creativity to